Well, from Nordic walking in England to bungee jumping in Aotearoa, our next guests are on an epic adventure.
Que tal se você chamasse a sua família?
50 viikon aikana 50.
Since October, health and fitness personalities Paul and Jacqui Brown, along with their 9-year-old son Ben, have been traveling around the world promoting sports and healthy lifestyles.
Well, first of all, what is behind this whole challenge? What are you doing it for?
Well, Carl, it's pretty simple. Jacqui and I have been in the health club industry all of our lives. You know, we love fitness, we love exercise, and we love sports. And over the last 30 or so years, we've seen a massive decline in activity levels in our kids. You've only got to look around and see how much time they spend playing on their computer screens, watching videos and the like. And there's a lack of balance there. Obesity has doubled in the last 10 years. It is going to double again in the next 7. And everywhere we go, we're going to visit schools and talk to kids and basically say, look, just find something, get some type of activity in your lives. We figured if we could prove to the world that we can find 50 different sports to do in 50 weeks, then surely every family out there can find at least one sport that they could do on a regular basis.
Sports in 50 weeks brings us to Kirra Beach on Queensland's Gold Coast. We're here for the Aussies, the Australian Surf Life Saving Championships. We're here to learn how to compete on the sand and in the surf, because this is Surf Life Saving Week.
I started surf lifesaving about 7 years ago after we came back from overseas. Saw some people training on the beach and thought that looks like fun, and we're ready for a change of sports. So we've tended always to be people that would decide on what sports we play depending on what was happening around us, what was easy to do. So we've always liked to have new challenges.
It's so popular because in Australia most of our population live on the beaches. From Melbourne all the way to Cairns, we've got 3,000 kilometres of beaches, and most parents I know where their kids are near a beach, they want them to be confident in the water, just from a safety point of view, if nothing else. It is an Australian tradition to bring your kids to the beach and do nippers, and it's basically the kids come along, and when they're very little, down to under 6s, they do fun on the beach. They play games, obstacle courses, they'll have wades in the water. Everything's based on safety, so they can't go out in the surf. As they get older, they're progressively introduced to more and more advanced things in the water. They learn about rips and tides and currents in the beach to be safe, and they learn some basic surf life-saving skills. When they get to 13, they do what we call a senior resus certificate, which is like our bronze medallion. Our bronze medallion is the iconic surf life-saving level of certification you get to be a lifesaver. So they get like a junior one, and when they get to 15, they do their full surf life-saving medallion, and they become surf lifesavers. You can be on the beach at 15 and save lives, and it's happened many times because as parents, we've got other things to do. We're not on the beach, but it's the 15-year-olds who are down the beaches 24/7, and there's been so many incidents in the papers where kids been surfing out on their surfboards have rescued swimmers, because surf lifesavers are only on the beach from 9 till 5 on Saturday and Sundays, and the paid lifesavers are similar hours. So when they all go home, the beach is empty except for kids, usually. And it's great that these surfers and 15-year-olds have these skills because they save lives.
Well, I'm looking forward to the swim because I actually have a world record in the pool.
Is that so?
Yeah, I sink faster than anyone else.
Don't worry, we'll come and rescue you.
We've seen how the legends do it at the Aussie Masters Championships. Now it's time to don on what they call the skull caps. We've got the safety fluoro tops on. We're going to go and get wet and give this a go.
Trying surf life saving for the first time was tough. Sitting on the canoe was way harder than it looks. But seeing Mom and Dad struggle right there with me made it even better. It was challenging, messy, and honestly, super fun to try.
And I'm still astounded at how your brain, you go from that, where you're falling off every 2 seconds, you do it for a while and all of a sudden your brain, you don't know what you're doing, but you're out in the roughest water and you just sit there.
This is very, very tough. When you get out amongst the rolling waves, this craft is the most unstable thing I've ever been on in my life. I have an immense amount of respect for the men and women who ride these things competitively. You see, beaches inherently have a bit of a risk. Water, waves, sand, it all adds to potential injury, sometimes loss of life. But the whole idea of surf lifesaving is to make the sport and the enjoyment factor as safe as possible. Any activity in any sport is going to have its risk. But you know what's more risky? Not playing. Inactivity is now the 4th leading cause of death amongst people. That means sitting around doing nothing is incredibly dangerous to you. Any sport, any activity, it puts you at a mild level of risk, but you can control that risk. You get good coaching, you do good training and preparation, and you use common sense. The healthier and the fitter you are, the longer and the better quality of life you can look forward to. It's worth the risk, and not doing it is simply not an option.